Welcome to all for today's presentation session. With the help of this session, let us try to understand basic surface preparation. The session objective will be material storage and handling. Here we will be learning how to store materials and how to handle them. We will learn about the tools and equipments, and in that we will be analyzing surface check, surface preparation, waterproofing coating application, sealant application, and finally the surface preparation. So the objective here is to cover all these possibilities as per the shown in the slide. As and when the material arrives at site, always store the product in the dry and cool area with adequate light and ventilation arrangement. Look for the proper space on the site. If there is no storage, please place at least or cover them with proper tarpaulin or gunny bag or a cloth and keep away them from direct sunlight. Handling of chemicals. So with the help of this slide, I would like to explain how we should handle construction chemical products and any chemical products when it received at site. Follow product data sheet for mixing, usage and handling of the chemical. If possible, if you know the product also, then also for a perfect use or perfect coverage, just go through the product data sheet. That will help you to understand the product better and give you a better result. Open cans and cans with the proper tools with care. And when the material, such type of material receive on the site, normally we will try to find out to open with all the tools which are easily available on site, but request you to use proper tools, the tools like shown in the slide. So this will help you to open it properly, and it can be also packed when the material is not in use. Okay. To cut the lid from the plastic bucket, use hacksaw, dislike or pull zip types, etc. Use a screwdriver, insert into design slot and metal bucket lids. As you see, such type of storage containers will have such type of mechanism. Maintain work area in neat, orderly condition. Immediately clean up slip. This is a very compulsory. Whenever you do any work, you should keep your site very clean after doing all the things completely. So these are the basic tips I am going to discussing with you, how to handle chemical boxes on the site. Come on, let us understand tools and equipments which can be used on the site for surface check, surface preparation, waterproofing coating application and sealant application. So we will be going to discuss one by one in this session. For surface measurement and check on the site, we can use the following equipments as shown in the picture for better result. For example, nylon hammer. This will help in sound test, hollow unsound area, so that proper surface separation can be done for quality waterproofing coat. Approximately cost of this is around 500 rupees. Just I'm giving you an estimated cost so that you can get an idea. Digital infrared thermometer. As shown in the picture, this is a digital infrared thermometer which is used to measure surface temperature. This helps to have the quality coating on surface. For example, temperature below 10 degree is not advisable for application of any coating due to moisture content on surface. So this is very useful tool which can be helping you on the site. Approximate cost of such a type of infrared thermometer will be around 5,000 rupees. Third, the moisture meter. Moisture meter is very useful tool. It will help to know the moisture content on the surface, and we can suggest waterproofing solution like Pidifin 2K, SureSeal, DamGuard, etc. for quality waterproofing. Approximate cost will be around 6,000 rupees as shown in this picture. The tools can be used to check the dampness and suggest solution as per the moisture content, which will help you to act like a waterproofing doctor. Even if you have such type of tool, you can be a specialist to check the surface temperature and suggest the product, and you can charge for the same. These are the common tools which you can see in this slide, which I need not to be explained more on that, like chisel, grinder. This grinder is useful for grinding and removing unexcess slurry on cement which is set on the surface. Sandpapers are used to level and clean the things, unwanted things. Jet spray is very useful. Our approximate cost of jet spray is around 10,000 rupees. This is because jet spray nowadays people use acid to clean the surfaces, but end of the day acid will destroy the concrete life. So use jet spray, which is very useful. It will enhance the concrete life. Okay, use wire brush for proper cleaning. So these are the common tools which everybody knows, but I still like to have some focus on this presentation. Separation is also like we can use all different types of trowels, vacuum cleaner. Vacuum cleaners plays a very important role. It's around 6,000 rupees. When you want to clean the surface dust free and want to make it a very clean and neat so that coating can have a proper bonding, so vacuum cleaners play a very important role. Okay, so if possible, try to use all such type of tools on site. Tools for coating. These are the very important. When you want to buy brushes plays a very important role in coatings, especially in when you try to apply some coatings on the surface. So normally our focus is that we should buy a cheaper one, but my intention is different. Let us see, with the help of this slide I can explain you the quality and about the brush life. So always try to select the right quality brush, because it apply a thicker and uniform coat. And if you want to have a uniform coating, use a premium quality brush. Better quality brush enables speeding. Also it will increase your speed of application and simplify work, and also contain to have a better lock and longer durability. Size should be 2" to 4" depending on the area of application you should use. Precaution should be taken care. Whenever you clean complete the application with the brush, you have to clean it and keep it in this way as shown in this picture. Okay, the right place so that when you want to use in the next time, it will get a smooth and uniform performance for longer days. Approximately a cost is around 400 rupees, but try to use a good brush. Instead of using 3 brushes, buy one good quality which will have a longer life. Even for coatings, there are some rollers. I was just discussing earlier about the brushes, but for coatings you can also use the rollers. The approximately cost will be around 400, but always I recommended to use Lambull rollers, and they are very good in quality and they can last for a long also. So nap of length of 20 mm to 30 mm for acrylic, depending upon the light and heavy texture surface of the concrete and bricks. So it's very important to select a right roller for the good application to get a good result. So always I recommend to use Lambull rollers for a faster application result. Other tool which we can use for coating is we call it a squeezy pad. And a squeezy pad, this is a squeezy pad as shown in this arrow. This is a squeezy pad, and this is a squeezy pad. Approximate cost is around 500 rupees. Squeezy pad is basically used for the product like PU coating application, Bitufix, a product like us Bitufix, which has a very because if you see, I would like to explain with this picture. If you apply a coating by this, it is have a uniform layer and it is having a very good finish. So squeezy pad use a heavy duty squeezy broom handles with strong wood and steel rod up to 4 to 120 centimeters long, and width it should be around 15 to 16 inch or 20 to 25 mm. So use such type of a good informatic which I have given in the use such type of squeezy pads, which will have a very good result and we will get a very good coating and uniformity. Other tools which basically you can use for coating is like mixing jar. It is helpful to this mixing jar can help you to have the proper mixing with proper measurement and all that. Even dry machine, drilling machine and paddling machine, these two can approximately this cost is around 4,000. This will help to mix it the quantity in a very easy way, and this can also have a multi-purpose uses. You can drill it if you require anywhere, and even you can use it as a drilling machine or paddling machine. Bucket is very important. Use a proper bucket. Don't use any scrap plastic bottles and all that to store water. Use this bucket. It can be used for multi-purpose. You can also use to store water in on site. So these are the basic things which we should use for a better coating or for the better result of the waterproofing. For sealant application, I always recommend to use PU sealant guns, silicone sealant guns. You use backer rod instead of using thermocol. You can use 3 mm to 25 mm backer rods in that. So these are the tools which you should always use when do application of sealant. That is chalking pressure gun, masking tape, spatula, backer rod. These are the masking tapes, this spatula. These things you should use for the application of sealant. So this is a small information which I would like to share on the application of the sealant process. Now let us see on surface preparation, how to do a surface preparation on site. Now we have just understand about the tools, about the brushes, about the equipments which we should use on all sites. Now let's see surface preparation. Now let us understand the importance of surface preparation for successful good quality job. Surface preparation is the single most important factor in determining the coating durability. Success of waterproofing job depends on surface preparation lead to good quality job. So this is very important, please note. What are the steps to be considered for doing a surface preparation? First, check the surface condition and defect with the help of nylon hammer. Treat the holes, voids and honeycombing with the help of URP. Repair of unsound surface. If you found there is an unsound surface, clean and make a repair with URP. Grinding of substrates. Grinding of substrate where you can use the grinder to clean all the unnecessary particles and make the surface uniform. Cleaning of substrate. Cleaning of substrate means you have to clean the surface so that your coating can be done very well. Filling of cracks. Cracks are the very important things to be covered so that your leakages problems can be solved. Making of angle filleted horizontal to vertical junction. This is the very important thing. If you fail to do these vertical junctions angle fillet, your leakages can be 100% to be happen from that place. So let us see step by step in detail. In surface preparation, we have to follow step 1. Check surface condition. How to check surface condition? Checking of existing surface. Whenever you visit the site, please check the surface like screed, DVC with IPS, China mosaic, tile. IPS means internal plumbing systems. Okay, this is IPS, internal plumbing system. So always go and check the proper thing is done over there. If not, then there is a problem. So checking of existing surface is very important. Condition of surface. With the help of picture, I like to show you, these are the few pictures. Like you see there is a vegetation over here. The vegetation is very harmful for any structure. This is a serious source of the leakage. You see the water tank is leaking, and this water coming here and making the terrace weaker, because continuous flow of this water will lead to leakage from the terrace. This parapet wall is having a big crack. This is very serious because when water comes or during rainy season, the water will penetrate from this crack and it will get to leakage. Even you see the rainwater outlet, it is chock up with all plants leaves. This is very dangerous because if this is chock up, then water will accumulate on the surface of the terrace and then the leakage will take place. So look at these cracks, these are the very important cracks to be treated, and this is how the surface preparation, when there is a hollowness, break it and repair with URP PMM. So I try to explain you with the help of these images to check this surface condition as and when you visit on the site. Let's see further. By this slide, I would like to show you the images that these are the common surface defects on concrete generally observed on site, such as dirt, cracks, rough surface, holes, honeycombings and voids. So these are these always when we visit, you check on these particular problems. So this will help you to solve the problems. Okay, these are the looking very small, but they are very critical as concerned waterproofing is there. Treatment Step second, treatment to holes and void and honeycombings. Okay, these are the, if you see, this is honeycombings and there are the holes. So these are the very important if you have to treat it, because if you not treat, the water will penetrate and will have a leakage problem. So first of all, how the process is, clean out all the dust particle, loose particles, and fill the voids with non-shrinkable grout or sand, cement or polymer mortar mix with the help of URP. So this is very important for the treatment of such type of surfaces. Okay, let's see further. Second, this is a honeycomb, this is, with the help of the image I would like to show you that this is a honeycomb and there is a treatment is very important. So how to treat? Hack using the hammer chisel or mechanical hacker, clean and remove all these particles and repair the original profile with PMM or recommended repair motor, make with the help of URP, make a PMM, polymer modified motor, and repair this. So this is very important in order to avoid leakages. Third step is treatment to unsound patches. So how to check it? I am showing you with the help of these images. The first, take a hammer, a nylon hammer, you tap on the floor. If there is a hard sound, that means the surface is good. If the sound is unsound, then the surface is bad and it needs to be repaired. So when the results come, mark with the chalk as shown in this image, and then with the help of chisel and hammer, clean it and make it proper clean, remove all the dust particle, clean with water, make an SSD condition, use bond coat and use PMM motor with URP, bond coat with URP 1:1, and then repair this. So this is the way which has to be repaired the unsound patches. Okay. So this is the step 4, grinding of the substrate. So how we can use this grinder? This is the substrate you seen where there is a lots of porous and unlevel surface is there. So this grinder is very useful for making this surface very good and for proper application. So how the process? Remove the prostration, remove this all particle with the chisel and hammer and make it a level. From here you have to make a level. Then grind the surface using emery paper or an electric concrete grinder. Use it, then make the level. Do not grind to make a mirror smooth finish. It is very important not to do a mirror smooth finish. Otherwise coating can be debonded. If you want to make a mirror finish, the coating will be debonded. So try to make a rough surface and we will get the good result of the coating. Let's see further. Now the fifth process is cleaning of substrate. Cleaning of substrate is essential to ensure excellent bonding between the substrate and the coating. As shown with the, I'm trying to explain you with the help of the image. With the help of this broom, clean with the broom, clean with vacuum cleaner. As I told you that we should use such type of tools on the site. So this will remove all the dust particles. Then clean with high jet water pressure jet pipe. So as we have already discussed on that. Now after that, mechanical blowers to dry the surface faster can be used if required. Okay, so this is the proper cleaning of surface tools and the process which we can use here, as shown here. Now let us see step 6, structural crack filling. When you see all such type of cracks on the surface or terrace, so what is the process? With the help of these images I am trying to show you how to make the surface separation. First, open the crack by angle grinder and clean with air blower. So this is the process. Second step, cleaning crack with water. After that, clean the cracks with water. Third step, apply bond coat and fill crack with polymer modified mortar. Okay, this is the process. Cracks which are more than 10 mm we should use URP. A crack which is up to 5 mm you can use Crack-X paste. Cracks up to 10 mm we can use Crack-X shrink free. So these are the products which we can use for crack filling. Let us see further. Yeah, with the help of this chart with this slide, I would like to explain you how to make the bond coat, how to make repair mortar, how to make repair concrete mix. Okay, so it's a very simple. When you want to make a bond coat is used for fixing of, for joining the old and new surface. So the ratio is 1 part of cement and 1 part of URP. Mix and apply. When there is a tackiness, then you can do the job over it. Second, we come to repair mortar mix. Repair mortar mix is a mix which you make for making some repairs, especially all old buildings you see, they make such type of repair mortars. So the ratio for this is, that is 50 kg of cement, 150 kg of sand, 10 liters of water and 6 kg of URP. So this is used for making PMM. Now we will come to the repair concrete mix. This is specially used for repairing all those slabs and where there is damage, and make the PMM to repair those concrete slab. So for which you required 50 kg of cement, 75 kg of sand, 75 kg of aggregates, 10 liter water and plus 6 liter URP. So this is a mix and combination of repair concrete mix. But still on the side, since we are not there, people will not follow, at least use the thumb rule for making a polyamide, making a PMM or concrete PMM. Dosage is at least 12% by the weight of cement. For example, if you are using a 50 kg of cement, so at least 6 kg of URP you can use in that. So it's a thumb rule which can be easily followed on site. Seventh, making of angle fillet at horizontal and vertical junction. This is vertical and horizontal, and this is a junction. So this is very important. If the entire problem in bathroom or any roofs, the critical situation is here. This is a joint where there is 100% chances of getting leakage. So in order to avoid this, you should do a proper angle fillet as shown in this image. This is the angle fillet, what you call vata golai on the site. Okay, so this is a wall and this is a floor and this is the angle fillet which will be making with the help of URP. So note, in a roof or slab and parapet wall base, minimum 300 mm should be made of concrete where angle fillet to be built up. Okay, it's very clear, 3 mm. Angle fillet made between the masonry wall and concrete slab leads to cracking due to the movement. As I already discussed here, this was a point I try to explain with the image. So let us see further. Now let us see making of angle fillet at horizontal and vertical junction. Okay, as we discussed earlier, this is a junction and we want to make this angle fillet. So with the help of these images, I would like to explain how to make it and make a proper angle fillet. Provide angle fillet at a chance is in a direction substrate from horizontal to vertical, and this I mean to say. Now we will see how we will make an angle fillet. First of all, when in case of this situation as shown in the picture, we have marked here to clean up the hacking and mark it and make it a very clean and neat. Okay, then second step, we'll apply a bond coat with one part of cement and one part of URP for better bonding, and then we'll make an angle fillet of 50 by 50 by PMM. Okay, we will make with the URP, this PMM polymer modified mortar, and finish with the help of fillet. And this is the way we have to do the angle fillet preparation. So I try to explain you with the small pictures and small 4 pictures how to make the angle fillet for the better result. Let us discuss on dressing of angle fillet vata or golai, which we do on site. This is very important. Okay, if you see this image, I would like to explain you with the help of this image that we need to do proper finishing of this angle fillet with the help of fiber mesh. Okay, fiber mesh will help you to have a better reinforcement. It will have a very strong structure strength which will last for a long. So how to do that? Apply first coat as shown in this figure. Apply first coat of Dr. Fixit material of angle fillet, that you can apply URP or some 1:1 bond coat. Okay, this is where you have to apply a bond coat. Place and soak 150 mm width of 45 microns open glass fiber mesh. As shown in this figure, he is placing the 45 microns and a fiber mesh reinforcement on the wet first coat to be arrest cracking. Here we have done a bond coat, we have done a coating of URP or some other waterproofing product. Then we are applying a 45 GSM fiber mesh for a better reinforcement, and then you do a coating over it. See that the coating, the fiber mesh should not be visible when you do a final coating, so that will have a better waterproofing result. Yeah, with now I will be discussing on provision or detailing or at a rain outlet, water outlet, rainwater outlet. So with the help of images, I try to explain you in a very simple way. But let us see step by step. Check whether drain Check whether drains are given in adequate numbers and size depend on intensity of rainfall and roof areas with proper slope. So this is very important, and a proper slope should be there. If there is a heavy rainfall area, try to have the more rain outlet waters on the roof. Okay, so that is very important. Use of URP mortar in order to avoid water seepage through the pipe junction. Okay, just like this I have shown here. Apply first coat of Dr. Fixit waterproofing coating on this area. Okay, like this. Then place a sock of 45, a piece of 45 GSM or 1 inch by 1 inch size and 4 inch width and 6 inch in length, like shown in this figure, and you will finalize this detailing of rainwater outlet. So with the help of this image, I try to explain you how to detail the rainwater outlet. So as we seen earlier, okay, so just a common information which I would like to share with the help of this slide. Did you know normally for a rate of rainfall 75 to 100 mm per hour, minimum 2 outlet of 100 mm dia, okay, this is 100 mm dia, to be provided for 1000 square feet of roof. Okay, so this is a thumb rule which will help you to understand कि in short, if you have 1000 square feet of roof, at least 2 rain outlet should be there of 100 dia, okay, 100 mm dia. So this is a thumb rule which you can follow in your practical sites. Now we have seen all the process steps we have done to carry a good surface preparation. Now with the help of a small AV, we can have a better visibility of surface preparation on site. Thank you all for giving your valuable time. You can visit our website drfixit.co.in or also contact our helpline 1800-209-5504. You can also use our technical helpline where our engineers will help you to assist you solve the problem. The numbers are 1800-3002-5502 or SMS DF to 57575. You will get the SMS. By this, you will get the link of Dr. Fixit waterproofing guide where you can understand the products and your application in depth. Thank you once again for giving your valuable time. See you.